Greetings, Waffle Crew. I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm Marcus, and today we're diving into another batch of Reddit tales. If you enjoy these Reddit stories, consider giving a thumbs up, subscribing, and maybe ringing that notification bell. Let's jump into our first tale, sending you all tons of love. Our first story comes from the Nuclear Revenge subreddit, posted by Sweet Daisy, titled, Got Sacked, Reported Them to OSHA, and Shuttered a Family Business, Forcing Them to Skip Town. A while ago, I was brought on as the marketing coordinator for a family-run fitness equipment liquidation company, started by an Olympic gold medalist. He'd been struggling with mental health challenges and handed the reins to his wife. She lacked expertise but took charge anyway, running the operation with her kids, achieving moderate success. That's where I entered the picture. The first warning sign was her attempt to bypass the recruiter with a shady side deal to pay me less than standard but more than I'd get without the recruiter's cut. I was desperate, so I overlooked it. The next red flag was how deeply the family dynamic was woven into the workplace. There was no clear line between employees and family members, with personal matters spilling into the professional environment. Still, I felt warmly welcomed, almost smothered with affection by the CEO, who treated me like one of her own kids, hugs and even pecks on the cheek during morning meetings, as if we were gathering for a family breakfast. Meetings often devolved into chaotic brainstorming because the CEO's kids and staff were disorganized and avoided committing to concrete plans. I was largely left to handle marketing alone since no one followed through on promised support. About a month in, the CEO and her daughter, who was some sort of operations manager, cornered me. They demanded to know why we hadn't hit the ambitious goals I'd outlined, despite my explaining that I had little to no help. Suddenly, I was the scapegoat for declining sales and the lack of explosive growth they'd expected. I detailed the steps I'd taken, sticking to my proposed strategies, but it didn't matter. They wanted me out because they expected miracles in 3 weeks with no budget or assistance. So I walked away. I should note that I accomplished a lot there. I streamlined manual processes, implemented Salesforce and Slack, set up Zendesk for customer support, and automated point-of-sale systems to make everything from card payments to accounting seamless. I boosted efficiency and productivity significantly, but none of that counted. They wanted social media posts to magically double sales, nothing more. While there, I documented numerous OSHA violations, exposed electrical wires in customer areas, violations of the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, safety hazards, uncertified forklift operators without protective gear, and even an employee standing on forklift prongs to reach the warehouse ceiling. Zero safety measures in place. They used shoddy temporary fixes that often worsened problems. I reported these to OSHA, sending photos I'd taken as a precaution, never expecting I'd need to use them. But I did. OSHA explained that action would take months, even with evidence. The fines for the violations I reported were so steep, I knew the business couldn't survive them. Months later, I confirmed action had been taken. Driving by the warehouse showroom later, I saw it deserted. Broken signage, overgrown weeds, boarded windows and doors. The lease was terminated, the place abandoned. While reporting to OSHA, I also tipped off a realtor friend to time her pitch perfectly, dropping flyers to convince the family to sell their property after the fines hit. She missed the timing, but learned the house was sold quickly. Their website was down, and they'd packed up and left town. I still can't believe it worked. But sometimes we become the karma people deserve. Farewell, Amy. Wherever you and your family fled, we're square. This family's business seemed doomed anyway, and they were just hunting for someone to pin the blame on, landing on the original poster, OP. I've worked for a similar company, smiles and warmth to your face, but the moment things go south, you're the fall guy. That place was a health and safety disaster too, with processes like the 5S system, sort, set, shine, standardize, sustain, just for show. They'd have us do pointless safety checks like tossing a star on the floor and observing someone's routine task, like making coffee, to ensure it was safe. But when it suited the directors, safety rules were ignored, like when they had us carry a massive table downstairs without handrails because it was convenient. I was naive back then and didn't speak up, but I wouldn't stay quiet now. What's your take on this? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's move to the next story. Our next tale, from the same subreddit, is by Tracker, titled, I Tracked Down My Credit Card Crooks. Yesterday morning, I got an email from my credit card company about a declined $1,500 charge at a med spa, followed by another saying it was approved. I called immediately to report fraud. Turns out my card had been hit with unauthorized charges for weeks. Hotels, eBay, gas stations, a storage unit, and a moving truck rental. I rarely use this card. My last in-person use was in February, and my last online purchase was in 2023. Thankfully, my card company flagged the charges and canceled the card. Today, my partner had a doctor's visit in the same city as one of the hotel charges. After the appointment, they asked what we should do. I suggested shopping for shoes or visiting the hotel to see if the thieves were still there, as the charge seemed enough for a multi-day stay. We went to the hotel to inform them the card was stolen and the charges would be reversed. The front desk clerk was furious. She found the reservation via the card number and noted the guest kept switching cards to cover the room. They wouldn't share the room number, much to my partner's frustration. They jokingly wanted the room key to grab the thieves' stuff. I called the credit card company, who advised contacting the police. The sheriff's department arrived in 20 minutes. I was shocked they showed up. I provided my report, ID, and card details. The deputy asked if I wanted to press charges. I asked if that was possible since the card company would refund me, and they confirmed it was. They spoke to the front desk, who handed over the invoice. My partner and I waited outside the lobby. Then, through the sliding doors, the clerk shouted, "That's him! He's trying to leave!" A Hispanic man with a bull terrier and bags was cuffed, followed by a small Asian man and a glamorous Asian woman with suitcases and a designer backpack. Officers searched their bags on a patrol car hood, uncovering passports, IDs, credit cards, a card printing machine, a laptop, and a bag of crystal meth. An officer grinned at us, saying, "Here we go." Two deputies searched the room, finding more drugs, a scale, car keys, and cash. No cars were in the lot. The suspects claimed they used ride shares. A friend of one thief, an older Asian man with tattoos and a luxury SUV, picked up the dog. We snapped photos of his plates. The deputies gave me paperwork, saying one thief admitted to stealing my card online, though I suspected a scanner from a recent fair visit. They'd made a physical card with a different name. I recalled a storage unit charge and a truck rental. I informed the front desk of the incident number, then told the sheriff about the storage unit. I located the facility 15 minutes away, but couldn't track the truck rental. The storage place confirmed my card was used, but wouldn't share the unit number. The sheriff said it was out of their jurisdiction, but suggested filing a report in that city for a search warrant. With time to spare, I drove there and filed another report. I'll update if there's more. For now, I'll freeze my credit, keep my dog vigilant, and stay prepared. Any advice? The deputy asked about prosecution before the drug bust. Do I need a lawyer? That scene at the hotel was wild. Drugs, scales, and cash on the patrol car. I'd have been glued to the drama if I were there. What do you think? Drop your thoughts below, and let's move on. Our next story, from the Best of No Updates subreddit, is by Throwaway Ring, titled, "Eta for not letting my niece wear my engagement ring?" I'm a 28-year-old woman recently engaged to my dream partner who chose a flawless engagement ring. He nailed it without any hints, even getting the size right. While babysitting my 6-year-old niece, she saw the ring and wanted to try it on. I explained it was very special and not for others to wear, but offered to let her try other jewelry. She fixated on the ring and sulked when I refused. I tried redirecting her, but she was still upset when my sister, 26, picked her up. My sister was annoyed, asking why I couldn't let her wear it briefly. I explained, but she said I didn't understand kids. Later, my sister and niece stopped by to let my dogs out while I was at work, where rings aren't practical, so I leave mine in its box by my bed. When I got home, the ring was gone. I panicked, searched everywhere, and called my sister. She admitted she took it to let my niece wear it for the day, even taking it to the zoo. She forgot it on a table briefly, but brushed it off since they retrieved it. I was livid, yelling that I'd explicitly said no one could wear it, fearing exactly this scenario. I banned her from my house when I'm not home and said I'd find someone else to watch my dogs. She called me unfair, saying my niece loves my dogs and just wanted to feel like a princess. I'm not mad at my niece and don't want to punish her for my sister's actions. Hey, Ada? Commenter Story Gal says, "Not the asshole. Your sister stole your ring. Stole it. I'd cut contact for a while, but that's your call. You're not obligated to share, especially jewelry. Your sister's entitlement is shocking, and your niece will survive this minor disappointment. Most people won't share their jewelry. Change your locks." Overlord commenter agrees, not the asshole. How would a 6-year-old replace a lost or damaged ring? Your sister was way out of line. I worry about what this teaches the kid, that taking what you want is okay with no consequences. If that ring was lost, would your sister replace it? Doubtful. And she was in your house to let the dogs out, not snoop. How often does she do this? I'd bar her from my home. What's your take? Share below. Our next story, from Philingo, is titled, My Parents Want to Adopt 3 Kids and Use My Money to Raise Them. From ages 10 to 13, I was fortunate to land roles in TV shows, films, and ads. I wasn't skilled enough to continue, but I earned money that my parents invested for me until I'm 18, now around $250,000. I plan to use it for college, and if anything's left, a house or business. I'm an only child, and my parents, 40 and 38, always wanted more kids but never had them. Recently, they've been exploring adoption. Last night, I overheard them discussing adopting 3 kids, an 8-year-old girl, a 7-year-old girl, and a 7-year-old boy. I thought they wanted 1 child. My dad said we couldn't afford it, but my mom suggested using my money. Dad asked about my college, and Mom said we wouldn't use all of it. But if we did, I could take loans like others. Dad agreed, noting I wouldn't be happy. Mom said I didn't need to know yet. I was furious. They planned to spend my money without telling me, probably revealing it at 18 with an apology and a tiny fraction left. I support adoption, but not with my money. I'll fund my own kids someday. Am I selfish? I know anger won't help, but how do I address this? Commenter Justice Seeker says, talk to a lawyer. They're willing to burden you with debt for their desires. Good parents don't do that. OP asks how to find a lawyer without money. Advice Guru suggests keeping recent account statements as proof. Sneaky Kid says to photograph their dad's documents. Legal Eagle mentions Coogan's Law in California, New York, Louisiana, and New Mexico, suggesting the money might be in a trust and to contact the trustee. This secrecy is wild, planning to drain your savings and say, oops, it's gone. What's your take? Comment below. Our final story, from the Petty Revenge subreddit by Sky Voyager, is titled, Take My Seat and Ignore Me. Enjoy the squeeze. Last week I flew from Athens, where I'd visited family, to London. It was a late-packed flight and I was exhausted. I'd chosen a window seat to rest against the wall. When I reached my row, a guy with headphones was in my seat looking away. I told him he was in my seat. No response. I tapped his shoulder gently. Nothing. I tried again. Still no reaction, though he was awake, eyes open. I considered getting a flight attendant, but didn't want a scene, so I took the middle seat, quietly seething. Soon, a woman took the aisle seat, traveling with a friend in the window seat behind us. They chatted across the seats. Then she asked if I'd swap with her friend so they could sit together. I agreed. Her friend was very large, not shaming, as I'm hefty too, but she was much wider. I saw a chance for payback. The guy in my seat noticed and gave me a pleading look, but I swapped anyway. I spent the flight trying to nap, occasionally glancing forward. The large woman took up half the window seat, squashing the guy against the plane wall. I hope he realized that if he'd taken his assigned seat, he could have swapped and avoided the squeeze. Maybe he'll think twice next time. What's your take on today's stories? Drop your thoughts in the comments. A massive thank you for joining me, sharing your love, and spending time here. It means everything. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Stay well and much love.